Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along this evening to World Online Racing. We are back for the third week running. It is the Crossplay Tier 2 Championship. What a race it should be tonight. We head to the Baku City Street Circuit, a city that is located in both Europe and in Asia. It's bound to be an exciting race. Of course, this evening we have the first of the season. We have the sprint race here in Azerbaijan. It should be an absolute spectacle. And for the first time here, it is your actual commentary duo. I am joined alongside to my left-hand side, I think. I don't know what way. Let's just look on the camera, but I am joined by Steve. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm doing very good. How are you doing?
I am not doing...
yeah.
I'm not doing too bad at all. Welcome along, folks. If you're just joining us in the stream chat, we're just waiting on the lobby to get started. I'm waiting to actually get an invite in the first place, but we're just waiting to get in. But it should be a fantastic race here in Azerbaijan. Before we get started into the preview for this evening, we can bring the standings up on screen, or we can bring them up on half the screen. There we go. We can bring the standings up on screen for you. You can see it is PSR Kimber who is on top, followed by Benza in second position on 33 points. And then with 27 is VSR Quantum and VSR Jack, last week's race winner, picking up his first points in the season in Texas. But it is still obviously oh so close at the top because of course we're already new into this season. But tonight we could really see who is the championship challengers coming to the forefront.
Yeah, we certainly can. I mean, the third race of the season is sort of where you expect to know who will be competing in the championship at the moment. I mean, it's still all wide open. Anything can still happen in the championship, but this is where you really know who will sort of be at the front of the field, and especially at a track like Azerbaijan and Baku, it really does sort of show you the drivers that do have a lot of skill and a lot of pace underneath them, because this track, you've got to get it absolutely perfect, or you're ended up in the wall or spinning round. So it's going to be definitely the race where we do really see who is at the front of this championship.
Yeah, it should be an exciting one. We're almost ready to go then in Azerbaijan, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting people into the lobby now. But yeah, we do have 20 drivers here this evening. It'll be a 9-lap sprint, followed by a 26-lap race here in what is a fairly new track to the Formula 1 calendar. The second longest, of course, with ferocious top speeds and some very, very tricky corners. But more importantly, who will we really be looking at tonight? Obviously, you've a bit more experience with these Xbox guys than I do, but is there any name that stands out? Of course, the man who won last week's race, VSR Jax, has a qualifying ban for this evening, so he won't be starting on pole position, may still win the race.
Yeah, I mean, there is some drivers like Expert Almond, VSR Nico as well, and of course VSR Quantum, who was actually battling for Xbox Tier 2, the championship last season. So there's some drivers to really look out on at the moment. But I mean, there is also NRX Finn, last season's Xbox Tier 1 race driver, should I say. And with Jack having that quali ban, yes, he is at the back, but there is also a sprint where he can make up as many places as he possibly can and try sort of capitalize on the carnage that happens in that. So he's not all out of it just yet. It's Baku at the end of the day. It is a very, very dangerous circuit for these drivers, and one little mishap and Jack could be promoted a few places.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It's probably the race where he really wants to pick up his qualifying ban, if any. Let's take a look at the track map for this evening then, folks. You can see on your screen now, 6.003 kilometers, 3.730 miles and 20 corners here in the Baku city. Of course, the medieval city of Baku, the capital city of Azerbaijan. It is a really, really difficult track, and any Formula 1 driver would even tell you that the walls are oh so close in such a high-speed circuit. Of course, 137.8 metres from pole to turn number 1, and a 2,010 metre longest flat-out section. That is from turn 20. That is from not turn 20. Apologies. That is from turn 16 to turn number 1. Of course, the last 3 or 4 corners are absolutely flat out. We are almost ready. We're loading into the lobby now, so we will give you one last taste of our camera screens, but we're getting ready. It is a dry qualifying, and we will be heading to the on-track action now, folks, I believe, if I can find the footage. There we go. We'll head to the on-track action now for what should be an exciting qualifying. We do have the sprint race, of course, as well. So make sure to keep an eye on that. But there you can see the 20 drivers who will be tackling the Baku City Street Circuit this evening.
Yeah, I mean, qualifying, it isn't going to be really what drivers will be focusing on. If you say about the sprint race and the actual race, you'll be mainly focusing on those to get the main qualifying position at the end of that. I mean, this qualifying is all for bragging rights, really, to say, oh, look, I'm quickest in qualifying, but it's surely going to be a crack, and we already have a car coming out on the circuit, and I do think that is the Ferrari Expert Almond.
I think it could be.
It's Amin.
Oh, it's Amin who's coming out on circuit early on here. There's still 17 minutes to go. We jumped right in as qualifying started. We haven't missed any of it. So Amin is the first out on the circuit for Ferrari, a car that has traditionally ran very well around Azerbaijan in qualifying. Charles Leclerc, the only repeat pole sitter here in Baku, of course, has not won the race here. There's been no repeat winners, as a matter of fact, here in Azerbaijan. Of course, the last two have both gone to Red Bull Racing with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, but we all know what happened in 2021. We all know how that one went down for both Verstappen and Sir Lewis Hamilton. But back to WOR action then. We've seen very interesting races across the previous tiers. I believe Tier 3 was quite controversial. I'm not sure if that's USA or Azerbaijan they were talking about, but I know you keep an eye on some of the lower tiers. How has Baku looked? Are we looking forward to a good race?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, Tier 3 yesterday, I saw that only about 9 cars finished from a possible 20, I think, or 19. So it's definitely a deadly circuit. I mean, Tier 3, it did rain. We still have a possibility for rain in this race as well. So it will be down all to driver's skill, and also Tier 6, from 19 drivers, only 10 finished. So far from what I've seen, this track is quite deadly for these drivers, and we'll see what happens now.
Yeah, quite deadly seems to be the theme heading here in Azerbaijan, but it will be Amin who we look at first, heading down in towards turn number 1. Absolutely on the rev limit and braking for this first corner. I just want to hook that curb on the inside and the outside. Don't go too far though, or you will be in the wall at practically all the corners here. Misses the apex a little bit. There's a little bit of a sun shining there on turn number 2. Some of the drivers might not be too happy about that. That's M Racer already out of qualifying. That's a crash for the McLaren. McLaren will be on the back row presumably here, because that is gone wrong for M Racer and gone wrong really for Amin. Quite lucky not to pick up damage there. Running very close to the walls is this Scuderia Ferrari. It may not be the fastest way. It might be a case of slow and steady wins the race here, but certainly in qualifying you've got to push it to the limit. Heading through turn number 5 and 6 and in towards 7 and 8, the famous castle section. Bit wobbly for Amin. It's certainly not the smoothest lap you'll ever see around the streets. Heading through the right-hander and then a flick to the left. Traction very, very difficult out of this turn 12 corner, and heading down towards turn number 13. It's flat out left and flat out left from here. Of course, Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley having a bit of a scare through this section in previous years. 2018, I believe that was. Seems like just yesterday through 15. Used to be a bit of a more creative line through there, but thankfully we've dumbed things down, I suppose you could say, and it's the traditional racing line. Now, flat out from here to the finish line. Let's see what this lap's like from Amin. It's not been smooth, it's not been perfect, but it might just be enough to set a real marker here in qualifying.
Yeah, it certainly can. He's coming up to the line now. What this be for Ferrari? A 1 minute 39.5. So quite a respectable lap time, but I mean, with the mistakes he's made, he's certainly bound to go quicker with the lap that he's set. I think Typical is now next across the line in the Aston Martin as he opens up the DRS as he heads down the main straight. All the drivers want to keep it to the left-hand side in this qualifying session down this straight, and it's a 39.444. So I mean, not too far off at the moment. I say that as Zane actually is 5 tenths off both the Ferrari and the Aston Martin.
That's not a bad lap from Amin. Quantum doesn't really get a representative time in. We will be seeing something quicker. There goes Zinity to the top for Haas, and there goes Finn, his NRX teammate, beating him. A 1:39.3. Great banker from Finn. Benza goes one better. Benza challenging at the top of the championship. The PlayStation man who really put on a show in Interlagos is maybe going to put on a show here in Azerbaijan. But so far, it's looking like that lap from Amin overall wasn't too bad. So keep an eye on Amin in the later stages of qualifying. Let's take a look at Bobberts then, heading through the left-hander. It was not the opener we would have wanted for Bobberts. Of course, I wasn't here last week, so I couldn't comment on his race in USA. Bobberts currently has no points in USA, so it was only the 4 that he picked up in Brazil. Here he comes then, rounding the final few corners. There is an improvement there. That's Adam Dude, who's gone to 6th in the other Alpha Tauri. So here comes the second one. Going to keep close to that left-hand side. Keep it as straight as possible. Heading through there, that's what you want to do. You don't want extra rotations on the wheel. There goes Bobberts, then he goes up to 6. Damage is gone. 8th Piccolo, 9th Venom, 10th Expert Almond, 11th Tudi's gone in, 12th Tudi, of course, led a bit in Brazil, started on the mediums, went for a more unconventional strategy. There is a Ferrari heading into the pits. That is Amin. Let's keep an eye on Nico then and see what Nico can do. Of course, one of many Xbox drivers here in the Tier 2 Championship. Crossplay for this season, of course, if you weren't aware, hence why it's C2 instead of Xbox Tier 2, but still some fascinating drivers, and it's the PlayStation man who is beating them all. Who's beating them all now. That is an improvement from Quantum, who has gone to 6. So Quantum was 4 seconds off the pace, now only 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, good luck there by Quantum, but Benza, it's sort of like a David and Goliath story, this, where it's all Xbox and it's only the 3 PlayStation drivers, and they've really got to prove themselves in all these races to show what PlayStation can really do at the moment with their drivers, and it's seeming to be working at the moment for Benza. I mean, Damage still in the top 10, and then Zane, he hasn't really set a respectable lap time just yet, but I mean, it is the bankers at the end of the day. If mistakes are made, you still cross the line anyway to get that delta to go off. So, I mean, it's still super close. Look at the gap from Typical all the way down to Adam Dude. It's within a 10th. So that small mistake might cost you a few places.
Yeah, and it's such a long track as well. Getting gaps that close is not really something we see often. Nico, that's not a representative time. Let's have a look at our championship leader, Kimber, then. This is the Williams Racing man who's heading around. He's almost tapped that outside wall. That was a bit too close for comfort maybe for Kimber, but of course, as we said, you got to be on the limits. A bit of a bobble through turn 15, heading in towards turn 16. Williams still pushing, wants to get a lap in at least. Of course, it's a long run out of that corner of turn number 16, heading in towards 17, 18, 19 and 20, all flat out. It is an exceptionally long straight through here, so getting a poor exit is not really what you want. Here comes Kimber then, pulling along to that left-hand side wall. We've seen some stay to the right, some go to the left. Kimber goes to the left. Is this going to go top of the timing sheet? It is by a margin. That's a 1:39.012 for PSR Kimber. The championship leader wants to stay near the top. That's an excellent qualifying lap here with 9 minutes and 50 to go.
Yeah, absolutely amazing lap there from Kimber. I mean, some of the lines he was taking, he just showed so much aggression through some of those corners. It looked like he really wanted to. And 2 attempts clear at the moment. It's a quite healthy margin if you think about it in the way this qualifying session is going. So actually sort of keep it that way, and of course more laps to come. He has done that on a 2-lap old tyres as well. Well, 1 lap it would be at the end of the lap, but still there's going to be so much time left in that lap, because all these first laps are just drivers finding their feet in the session, and then the next 2 are the real push laps. So Kimber definitely within one of the best shouts of pole position for today, and of course your championship leader, he's really looking like he wants to fight and stay there.
Yeah, he wants to fight and stay there, but as we've spoken about before here on the broadcast, Baku's a bit of a different one. It's kind of drive to survive, pardon the pun. So Kimber's going to have to still work for this one, especially with the sprint race, if he wants to keep his championship lead. Typical's going to be the next one to start the second runs. He's put on a fresh set of Pirelli soft compound of tyres, and he's going to go again here in his Aston Martin. Typical currently 6th position, will be looking for a bit more time to challenge towards the top. There's not that much of a gap between himself and 2nd position, but it's that big gap between Kimber and Benza that he's really going to be chasing. Bit of a wobble through turn number 1. Typical's just going to try and keep the head cool and just settle down for the remainder of this qualifying lap.
Yeah, he really has to. I mean, some drivers might not even be pushing at this moment because they know they've got the sprint race, so they might just be keeping it down a bit, making sure they get in those clean laps. Ooh. And I say that, and Typical is spun round there on the exit turn 3. That's definitely not what he wants at the moment. I mean, P6 is still a good place for the sprint, but you sort of want to be a bit further up there. But keeping it cautious, getting in those laps can definitely get you up in the order. And of course, that spin for Typical, not what he wants at the moment.
No, it's not what he wants at all. That's going to be a confidence killer of anything. Lucas's teammate not getting a lap on the board in the first runs either. Next man who is going to set a competitive time is Zane. He's currently sat in P16. He's second last of the timed runners, and Magician is 20 seconds off the pace, so he hasn't got a lap in. Zane, I can't imagine he's a second off the pace here in this tier. Usually a fairly competitive man, a part of the Team Shazoo Academy, of course. He's not the only Team Shazoo representative, the only one for PlayStation, but not the only one. Only a reserve entry, I believe, but heading through the final braking zone, there is about a 4.5 improvement for the Alfa Romeo. Heading through this flat-out section, then. Let's see where Zane's going to go. I can't imagine he's going to stay at the bottom of the order, because he is finding time, and whether he's losing it down this straight, it will be an improvement of some sort. Let's see, then. Heading towards the start-finish line under the DHL sponsorship. Where's Zane going to put his Alfa Romeo? He's put it in the top 10. That's not a shabby lap at all. Next across the line, I believe it's going to be Finn here, heading round. No, he's invalidated his time. It is going to be, the Ferrari of Expert Almond, I believe, heading towards the line. Currently 15th position. Let's see where he goes.
Across the line. P7, so he beats Zane's lap there, only just by 16 thousandths of a second. So the gaps are so close that that tiny, if you...
Venom has gone to second. He's just snatched second position off Benza. Almost an identical lap, and that's his teammate Piccolo, who's gone to fourth. Much better run from Alpine. Whether they were maybe utilising some slipstream off each other, I'm not too sure. There's certainly a big enough margin between the two of them to believe not, but that's a huge run for the Aston Martin, and there goes Benza. Okay, so somebody can challenge Kimber. That's Benza, first man in towards the 38, 138.843 for OP Benza to go top here with 5 minutes and 50 to go.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants, to be the first man into the 38s. That's a real confidence booster to know that you have that lap time within. And Adam Dude goes up into P4. And then Quantum with a 1 minute 38.7. He's a tenth quicker than Benza. So Quantum looking like to retain his sort of championship fighter status from last season in Tier 2 on the Xbox side. And he is really putting up that fight for pole position. But only provisional part at the moment. Anything can happen in this session in these last 5 minutes. So we can only wait and see.
Yeah, excellent run by Quantum there. That now puts Kimber down to third, but Kimber is on a qualifying run. He hasn't put in his second qualifying lap of the day yet. He's pushing it tight if he wants a final run, because he's only just starting his lap now in towards turn number 1. We're right on board with the Williams for a bit of this lap anyways. Heading down through 1, misses the inside curve, but might be on purpose. We see some different lines through there, and again, you kind of want to dodge that curve, but that's JR Damage who's gone fourth. Excellent run by the young Dutchman. That is in the other Williams. So Williams and Alpine seem to be two very strong teams here this evening. Zane, of course, went 7th. He's down now to 13th. His teammate currently in second position, Benza. So that goes to show the improvements. And that's Tootie. He's gone to 4th. So Red Bull now having another car up there. We seem to have a lot of blue cars towards the top of the timing tower. It's currently Quantum, Benza. Then it is Kimber, Tootie, Damage. Your top 5 here in qualifying.
Yeah, it seems that blue reigns supreme at the moment. But unfortunately for Benza, he isn't in the blue for PlayStation. At the moment, he's in the red for Alfa Romeo, but it seems Kimber's on a good lap here, and also further down, 6th and 7th, Adam Dude and Venom setting identical lap times.
Oh yeah.
Down there as Kimber still a 10th up on. Well, that's a 10th from sector 1. I've just come back onto it. Why has it said that? fix your game code, Masters. But across the second sector split,
Ooh.
3 tenths up, so he could be on for a provisional pole if he just keeps it clean through this next little S section of, I think it's 18 and 19 or 17 and 18. I don't really know the corner numbers too well, but through the kink onto the main part of the straight now, opening up the DRS and just hitting that maximum rev limiter all the way to the line. What would this be for Kimber? Would it be provisional pole? It is a 1 minute 38.618, a tenth ahead of Quantum, and Kimber still pushing into those laps, but it doesn't look like he will have enough time to go out for one last run, which could really affect him in this session.
Whether he needs even one last run, we'll have to wait and see. That's an excellent run from the championship leader. Here comes Nico then, let's see what he can challenge with. He puts it to 5th, excellent run from the Mercedes. That is a lap about 5/10 of a second off pole position. He's in that bracket with Tutti and Damage. We see lots of guys coming out for their out laps now, some guys even starting laps. Samin, who we saw started off the session with, it was a bit of a wobbly run from Amin. He's not improved on it, so do expect some big improvements from both Ferraris. I think Almond has a bit more in his lap as well. He's getting ready to start his run then as he heads down the fast kink. Other Mercedes of Finn, is he starting a run or finishing a run? He was finishing a run, but there's no positional improvement, I believe, for Finn there. But we will keep an eye just in case he was starting a run. Amin then heading through turn number 1. He's going to have a bit of traffic on his lap that he's going to have to deal with. That's a Haas Formula 1 car in front of him. Might get a bit of a tow from his fellow engine powertrain car, but we will wait and see. Usually they're all rivals and absolutely will not give a tow, and that's once again correct. No tow for Amin. Still no representative time from Magician. Not too sure if that was his Haas there, but still no representative time from him. Amin then heading through the twisty lefts and rights in towards what is known as the castle section. I imagine we're going to see at least one person in the wall at the castle section today. We have an awful lot of laps around a very difficult track today. I would not be surprised if we see a few guys having a bit of a hiccup through this left-right.
No, I wouldn't be either, as Tudi has retired from the session. That is in the pit lane, so he's all good there. But yeah, drivers will probably not leave each other room into that castle section, because they'll think they're entitled to the space, and it will just end up in absolute chaos. But Amin going down into the second sector split. How much is he up by? He's up by 6/10 of a second. So this can shoot him right up the order, up into about the top 3, top 4 in this session.
As far as a bullet train, he's on a monster of a lap. We saw Amin could improve. He's producing it. Let's see where the Ferrari goes then. This could be a real shock challenge for Paul if he was to take it. Pulls along to the left-hand side. That's an improvement from somebody. I believe it was Finn. Amin goes to 4th position. He's on the 2nd row here in qualifying for the Azerbaijani Grand Prix, or for the sprint race, I should say. Benz has just started his run as well. That was Finn who went to 7th. He's done here in qualifying. It'll be the best of 7 for Finn. Damage, is he about to start a lap? I think, yeah, he's only about to start a run. We're seeing the final runs starting here. Venom, huge improvement in the first sector for Venom. Alpine have a bit more in their cars. Let's see what Piccolo can do in the first sector as well. He's just heading through turn 2, as is Adam Dude. Adam Dude with a good qualifying so far as well. Heading through the castle section now is Venom. But the next driver to complete a qualifying lap, I believe it's going to be Typical. It's very marginal improvement from Typical. No, that's a bit better. It was marginal through the first sector. It's about 0.2 of a second through the second. So this lap could put him up near Venom and Adam Dude with the same exact lap in. Of course, even a fingernail of an improvement for those. We'll see them maybe jump another. But here comes Typical then, heading down the longest straight here in Baku. Where is this lap going to put Typical? Will he break into the top 10? He will. He'll go 9th. Good run there from Typical. What about Venom? What does he have to say here in qualifying? Is there one last lap? Oh, there's one last lap from the back of the grid. Magician, 20th to first, easy as that. Magician goes on provisional pole. What about Venom then? Can he have something else to say here in qualifying? He puts it on the front row. What a lap from Venom. Quantum's not improving in the second sector. Doesn't look like he'd take pole. Will PlayStation come out on top once again? No, they will not. Ben's are within 1/10 of a second of pole, but it's not good enough. Nico's not improving. What about Damage? Does he have another part to play? He does not. He's backed off his time. Adam Dude has also backed off his time, I believe. That's an improvement from Zinity, who's gone to 6 for Haas. What about Piccolo then in the other Alpine? Alpine have put it up there right at the end of the session. Piccolo unfortunately won't. He goes to best of 11th. Adam Dude is down on his run. Boberts is down on his run. That is magical from the Magician. It's sprint race pole or pole position, whatever you'd like to call it, for Haas out of absolutely nowhere.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing there in that final few laps. I mean, look at that. Less than a tenth separating the top four.
That's mad.
This is going to throw up an absolutely amazing sprint race. What a lap from Magician. He left it all to the last lap. It was all or nothing, and he gets provisional pole for the main race, but pole position for the sprint race.
Yeah, I've no idea what we call it.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and Venom as well, putting it out at the last second as well for Alpine. They're going to be absolutely amazed with that. And Benza carrying that PlayStation name a bit and keeping it up in the top three. So overall, for Benza, happy days, I would reckon, and he's nearly only one of three, I think, in the top 10 of for PlayStation. Yeah,
and the drivers who are starting on the front row of the grid were not on the front row until the dying seconds of qualifying. Magician is on pole position for the sprint race here in WOR. It's Venom who will line up in second, followed by Benza in third, Kimber in fourth, Quantum in fifth, Zinity will start sixth, followed by Amin in seventh, the man who we seem to be following for most of the session. Tootie will start eighth after an early retirement. It's then Lucas, Nico, Piccolo, Finn, Damage, Typical, Adam Dude, followed by Zane. It's then Expert Almond, Boberts who couldn't get a lap in, and then the two McLarens, M-Racer and Jax not getting a run in. Jax, I believe, had a qualifying ban. M-Racer crashed out on the circuit on his outlap. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after a short commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Baku City Street Circuit. As you can see on your screen now, the track these drivers will be facing: 6.003 kilometers, 3.730 miles, 20 corners, 12 to the left, 8 to the right, with a top speed of 337 kilometers per hour. Of course, Valtteri Bottas in 2016 qualifying set an unofficial lap record for the highest speed ever recorded in a Formula 1 car, with 378 kilometers per hour in his Williams. Oh, what it must have been like to be a Williams fan back then. As you can see, we are looking at the pit lane here in Baku. It's a little bit cloudy. We don't think there's any rain expected, but certainly it's a bit more overcast than it was in qualifying.
Yeah, it certainly is. The rain could throw up, especially in the sprint race, an absolute cracker. So if it does rain, it does rain. If it doesn't, it's still fine, especially on a circuit like this where, I mean, look at the DRS zones. There's two pretty much straight after each other, and there's one that goes on for what feels like an eternity when you're especially following a car and you're not close enough to go for the move. So either way, if there is rain, the race will be spiced up so much more. But with the qualifying gaps that we did see, it doesn't really need to rain if we want a good race. But we're about to start in 30 seconds, and hopefully we can get this underway all smoothly, and we'll have an absolutely brilliant race for the sprint.
Hopefully. Let us know down below who you're cheering for. Good to see some comments. Good to see OP Liam saying big up Benza. Carsey saying come on Magician. Niels Binnenport saying damage P13 go to damage. I know that's your account, don't lie. But 5 seconds to go then here in Azerbaijan. Don't believe there's a formation lap on. We'll be going straight into Grand Prix action here for the first sprint race of the season. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we go racing. here in Azerbaijan. Very good launch from Venom on the inside in towards turn number 1. Late braking, he's actually tapped to the race leader of Magician, somehow not gone round. Venom has had to yield. There is cars round at the back, Almond and Jack being involved in it. Quantum as well being caught up in a collision into turn 2. There is the Mercedes of Finn or Nico gone round. Both Mercedes gone round, in fact, heading down. We already have a virtual safety car deployed. Very, very hectic start here. It's currently Magician who still leads in Azerbaijan. Benz is up to second. Quantum's up to third. Venom in fourth position, followed by Kimber in fifth. Zinity now sixth. Very early retirement for Finn. He's not going to be happy with that. And Nico's gone spinning to the back as well. We saw a car spinning in the mid-pack. Believe that is what may have caused some damage for those guys. Speaking of damage, he's down 4 positions to 17. The biggest gainer in that little kerfuffle was Adam Dude and M Racer. But we'll just take a quick look then at the tyres. It is all the Pirelli medium compound of tyres as we head into the castle section. Under yellow flags for the first time. It is, of course, a virtual safety car. Will be going back racing any moment. No, sorry, apologies. Excuse me, we have gone to full safety car conditions.
Yeah, that's definitely what the start both Mercedes would have wanted from 12th and 10th. Finn, of course, out of this sprint. I mean, he does have the main race to try and make up some positions, maybe start at the back might help, but we saw at the exit of turn 1, cars were still getting involved in crashes, especially Jack, who started dead last. So you're not safe wherever you are around this circuit on the first lap, and I mean, that's definitely not what Finn wanted. It's not really what you like to see from someone who's in P12, and it's a quick driver. Like, all of these drivers are quick, and when they make a mistake and have a huge crash and they're out of the race, well, should I say sprint race, it's going to be hard to make up because of how close this field is. So it's all going to be what will happen in this sprint, where drivers finish, and also the main race on how they can make up the positions. But this safety car shortens the race a bit and maybe will make it a bit more spicy with drivers wanting those higher positions, and especially to get into the top 8 for those points.
Yeah, it's top 8 who score points, of course, in the sprint race. If you weren't aware of it, folks, Piccolo is into the pit lane, so is Bobbert's Damage and Nico. They're all involved in opening lap collisions. This will be tricky for them because, of course, you do use up your tyres here if you have to pull into the pit lane. Piccolo and Damage are on their main race mediums. Bobberts and Nico might be on softs, they say, from qualifying, so they could be okay. But, of course, softs do wear out very, very quickly here in Azerbaijan. I'm not too sure how quickly they wear out on this game, but certainly in previous games it was the one track where they did wear out exceptionally quickly. Your highest gainers are now M Racer and Jack, both in the McLaren. Didn't have to pull into the pit lane, both up 6 positions. Your biggest loser was Nico, who's down to 19th, and his teammate is second, who is out of the race and in 20th, of course. So very unfortunate for the Mercedes squad, who, well, it's even more unfortunate because Nico's just taken a trip to the runoff area. Not too sure if he's done that on purpose or not. It certainly looked elegant enough to be done on purpose, but Nico may be locking a brake, maybe having some wheel issues or some pedal issues. He's gone off into the runoff at turn number 6 back on circuit now.
Yeah, I mean, this track is very well known for some drivers overshooting it because you have to hit that braking spot just right. So maybe that's why, or yeah, maybe some pedal issues, and that's especially not what he wants. But Magician got the start he wanted. I mean, P1, and he was sort of not uncontested on that first lap, but he didn't have too much to defend from. He had Venom trying to go down his inside at the start, which didn't work out, but it wasn't really an overtaking move. And then he had Benza trying to go down his inside, and again, wasn't really an overtaking move that was on. So Magician, having the start that he really wanted there, just sort of getting his head down, focusing for those first 2 corners. And now under the safety car, once it comes in, he'll have full control for when it goes, and will try, for his luck, try to hopefully jump Benza and Quantum and get that bit of a gap he needs to sort of be comfortable in a way in this race.
When you say go off into the runoff, it's just reminded me of that brilliant Maheva Ragunathan attempt of getting out of the runoff areas. If you haven't seen it, please go Google we're going to an F2 Azerbaijan runoff. It's the greatest thing you'll ever see, and I have to say Nico has looked very impressive compared to a man who's in a much smaller car. But nevertheless, back to the on-track action here. We should be green this lap. The entire field is here with the safety car, and we should be able to go racing fairly soon. We're on lap 3 out of 9, so we're almost halfway through the sprint. We've seen a couple of quarters of racing action. However, unfortunately, that's usually a common theme around Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Even in real life, there was one, I think it could have been 2018, where half the race was under safety car conditions. It's usually what happens, and especially in league racing, when unfortunately you get 20 guys in virtual cars who sometimes forget how to go wheel to wheel. But nevertheless, I have to say, in what I've seen so far, it's been fairly clean from this tier, especially in Brazil. In the one I commentated in the bits of USA I saw, it was exceptionally clean, and there's a lot of good drivers with good names and some good CVs to be under. As I say, that Magician almost goes into the wall under a safety car at a point where Haas already has once in Azerbaijan. He would not like to repeat another famous Azerbaijan clip.
No, he wouldn't, but at least he would get a second chance in this one, unlike Roman Grosjean.
There was no excuses for Roman that day. That was hideous.
No, and even the engineer trying to blame it on Ericsson.
Yeah, that was even poorer.
Absolutely disgraceful. That was absolutely disgraceful from Haas there. But I mean, yeah, these drivers all sort of well known in the league racing community, and they're all under big esports teams as well. There's not one of them I really think is part of a small sort of team and industry in the league racing community. So we should be going underway very, very shortly.
Should be, as we go racing here in Azerbaijan. Magician's got the jump on Benza, the man currently 17th here in the championship with a single point to his name. Leads at the restart, but look at this from Benza. The launch he's getting on the Haas in towards turn number 1. No send down the inside. It was covered off by Magician, but there is some sends back from Lucas, who's gone around the outside of Tootie and Adam Dude, and the two Red Bull Powertrains cars kind of tripping over each other a little bit in the background. Jack's got to look up the inside of Typical here. The guys on the softs will be fairly quick behind, as there's a bit of contact between Racer and Typical, and it looks like Expert Almond has gone round. He has gone round at the very back. Oh, so unfortunate for the Ferrari, but that's unfortunately how the cookie crumbles into turn number 2. Adam Dude still right on the back of Tootie, wasn't able to make a move, as the spectators on their balcony getting a brilliant look at some excellent racing here in the middle sector. Benza still looking like he fancies taking this one off Magician. Will this be a case of waiting till the last lap and then having a drag race to the line? Jack up the inside in towards turn number 6. That is a very, very exquisite move from Jax if he was able to pull it up the inside there, which I believe he has, in towards the castle section. Nobody willing to risk a side-by-side moment yet, as Almond is unfortunately 3.2 seconds off the field. That may be the end of the chance of points for him, but we'll wait and see. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Into the braking zone of turn 15, a obscure defensive line from our race leader Magician, but he's going to get another lap lead under his belt here this season.
Yeah, I mean, Expert Almond twice round now. Lap 1, turn 1, and now lap 4, turn 2. So, not what he wants, but it seems like Magician, he's sort of pulling away from Benza, and now Benza's starting to bring it right back in down on the straight. So Magician might have focused a bit too much on qualifying here with his higher wings. But you never know, he could be able to defend it. Is Benza going to be close enough? No, but further back, M-Race has got past Typical. But yeah, Benza might be thinking about a last lap overtake to get the move done, but he's all over the back of Magician. Now they're so close to each other as they now head down the second DRS straight, going down into turn 3. But again, just not be close enough for a move. And further back, 2D and Adam Dude will be scrapping as 2D defends that inside line. Adam Dude round the outside, will he be able to pull off the move? He's gone for the switchback, but 2D was some brilliant defending there, parking it on the apex, and the AlphaTauri was not able to get past the Red Bull.
Yeah, that's excellent defending from Tootie, and it seems like up the top Magician has gone for the higher wings and opting to defend here in the sprint from Benza. Benza certainly seems to have the better straight line speed, about even through the corners, so it would make me believe that it is just a choice of, or a personal preference on straight line speed between the two. Bit wobbly through there for Magician. Benza could maybe see this as his time to pounce. It's two Ferrari powered cars in first and second, followed by the Red Bull in P3, but of course that does not matter. We're on equal performance here in WOR. Bit of of a slide for Benza through there. He's going to have to keep an eye on that because he doesn't want to fall too far adrift of the Haas and let him run away with this one. It is getting very dull here in Azerbaijan. We're not expecting rain, or certainly wasn't planned to have rain, but it is starting, or we're starting to see some black clouds emerge over the circuit. It's starting to become a very nasty evening here in Baku, but it's a great evening of racing, and this is Benza's real best chance so far here in the sprint. Is he able to tuck right up behind? It's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's not the race lead, quite crucially, into turn number 1. He might have another look down into turn number 3. There's nobody really going for any moves, all very spaced out. The two McLarens have, or their progress has halted. They were cutting through the field quite nicely, but their progress has unfortunately halted as that's Bobbert's round. That's Bobbert's into the runoff at turn number 1 by the looks of things, and unfortunately he'll drop to the back of the field now behind Almond, who has already had a spin since the restart. Magician almost in the wall, heading down in towards turn number 4. Huge slide for Magician. The race lead's been snatched from him. He's still on the outside of the Alfa Romeo, never mind. Benza's going to have to defend on the inside, heading in towards turn number 5 and 6. Benza does defend the inside, bit of contact between the two. Magician looks for an audacious switchback. That's not going to work through there. Benza leads here in Azerbaijan. That's a horrendous mistake from your former race leader and pole sitter Magician, but Benza makes an equally quite crucial one in towards the castle section. Actually runs a little bit along the advertising board on the right hand side. Doesn't seem to have picked up any front wing damage.
Wow, Magician probably will be kicking himself, but again, this is only the sprint, but all these points matter in the long run. So Benza, I think it's 8 points if you win the sprint race. Those two points over second place for Magician, or 1 point. I don't exactly know the points for the sprint race, but they're so important when it comes to the long run of the championship. And look at him, he's extending that gap on Magician, and it seems that Magician can't fight this one back, especially due to his lack of straight line speed. So it's pretty much all over for him, and Benza just needs to focus, get his head down, and sort of carry on with this little bit of a lead that he's got, because even though Magician's got the DRS, Benza seems to have the wings to defend from it down the earlier parts of the straight.
He's gone round. Benza's gone round right at the wrong point, and it seems if you take the lead in Azerbaijan, you will lose it on your own accord. He's picked up a 5-second time penalty. Crucial mistake. I was going to mention how he was outscoring championship rival Kimber, as and now he's only picking up 2 solitary points, and even with that penalty, he may not pick up any here. There's a bit of a gap between himself and Lucas, as it looks like Venom has to let him through. Not too sure what's going on here with the Alp.
Missing a front wing.
Ew, looks like Venom and Benza are just letting everybody through. That's very good sportsmanship if that is the case. That is unbelievable sportsmanship, because of course they're losing a lot of spots here for their main race if that is what they were doing. But that's Venom and Benza, 2 of the quicker runners here in the sprint race, that have fallen to 16th and 17th. Quite crucially, Magician now leads once again here in the sprint, and it's looking a little more hopeful from him because he has less laps to defend from Quantum. We've already saw one mistake from him, that's a mistake from Piccolo. Alpine, who had a great end to qualifying, are not having a great end to the sprint here in Azerbaijan.
No, they're certainly not, but the commentator's curse strikes. I said that Benza, all he needs to do, get his head into a rhythm. What does he do in the next corner? He spins rounds, and unfortunately Venom got collected in that with no fault of his own. Benza just sort of brought himself onto the racing line when he couldn't really, because there was cars coming by. So Alpine, both of them have wing damage now, so Piccolo might just stay out and finish the race with the damage he does have. It's only an M plate, so it's nothing too much if you think about it compared to Venom, but so unfortunate for them now. But now Quantum, Benza's retired. Benza's crashed.
He's crashed in the S's. It's something we often see with drivers with damage. We're not going to get a safety car or anything way too late in the sprint race for that. We're on the penultimate lap of the sprint. Kimber is looking like he might just have a sniff of the race win here, because he's pressuring Quantum. That's Venom retiring in the pit lane. There wasn't much for him to gain in this race, really, so an understandable decision from the Alpine. He can just take a couple moments to himself and reset the mindset heading into the main Grand Prix. A lot of work to do from the back for Finn, Benza and Venom. Magician just looking wobbly into the middle sector again. He can't afford another mistake, because he might not get a chance like the last one to go back through. That was a A very rare mistake from Benza to see Magician retake the race lead, and if he was to make another mistake, I don't think Quantum would grant him that same opportunity. But heading through the castle section, it's all been very clean through there so far. We haven't seen anything overly dramatic. The two McLarens now 9th and 10th are pressuring Lucas for the final points paying position.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, Quantum, he's dropping so much time in that first and middle sector that he can't get close enough down into either turn 1 or 3 at the moment. I say that, and I feel like Magician's made a tiny bit of a mistake once more, so this could be Quantum's opportunity to make a move as he heads down the main straight. But again, look, he just dropped so much time, so Kimber might even be able to pounce on the Red Bull in front of him. So now opening up the DRS, can Kimber get close enough as we're about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix? I don't think he can going into turn 1. And he just has to sit behind for the second DRS zone, and due to the DRS, I don't think he'll be able to get the move done as Jack goes deep into the corner after passing Lucas.
Oh, that's another mistake.
He has just a bit of wing damage. Jack has a bit of wing damage.
Oh, he does. I'm not too sure where he's picked that up, but he's certainly gone wide, and he just got into the points, and that's another mistake, I believe. That is Bobbert who's gone round, unfortunately, at the back, and there is another mistake from Quantum. He makes the exact same mistake Magician does. I think he's avoided damage just about, but Quantum now falls to 3rd, Kimber in 2nd. Magician may just be home and dry here, because there's not even a touch of DRS for Kimber due to the mistake from the Red Bull. Kimber has just had opportunities open up from here in Azerbaijan. Magician, he's just taking it nice and slow through here, doesn't want to bottle it because that would be awful. It would be terrible for a Haas team that's scoring some big points here in the sprint. Yellow flag, that is for Expert Almond, who is 17th, and he is bone last, unfortunately, or bone last, that's nothing, but he's dead last is what I'm trying to say. Gap between Zinity and Quantum. Quantum, I think, has picked up some damage here. Quantum is going very slowly. Zinity taps the outside wall. Might be a drag race to the line between those two. Keep an eye on Quantum, because it could all go wrong from through this S's, just like we saw for Benza. Magician is out of the final corner. He's out of the final corner safely, and there's going to be enough of a gap between himself and Kimber. There's a yellow flag. It's Expert Almond out of the session. Quantum has survived it. Magician, we thought he lost it. He thought he lost it, but a mistake from Benza has allowed him back in. The Magician will win the first sprint race of the season here in Azerbaijan. Kimber comes home in 2nd. Quantum will take 3rd position. Zinity will come home 4th. It was so close at the line between those two. 1/10 of a second. Amy comes home in 5th. Judy comes home in 6th, Adam Dude 7th, and M-Racer will pick up the final points from the back. Very, very good recovery from M-Racer. Lucas will take 9th. He unfortunately lost out on the final point in the dying second, and then it was Jack who came home 10th, but an excellent taster for what is to come here in the main Grand Prix.
It certainly is, and I went all there at the end as Kimber nearly threw it all the way, going through that little S section on the final straight. On the exit, he just dropped the rear and nearly put it into the outside wall. That could have been absolutely sort of a level playing field in the championship if you think about it from Benza's point of view. But of course, he didn't put it in the wall. He just about managed to save it and gets those 7 points that are needed. Haas, with a very good showing, with a 4th place and a 1st. Magician, I mean, that sprint really starts to show what the race could be like, and it shows that to finish, to like win the race or get some points in the race, you have to finish it and just keep your head down and make as little mistakes as possible, because the amount of opportunities that can open up for you, anything can happen.
Very true. Your top 10, of course, is Magician, Kimber, Quantum, Zinity, Amy, Tuty, Adam Dude, M-Racer, Lucas, and Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a couple of moments after our second commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in Azerbaijan. Of course, you can see the fabulous thumbnail on the screen that WOR provides. We'll be heading back to the pit lane, but it's just looking at the pit lane again. You don't really want to do that. We are back here in Azerbaijan. We will we'll actually take the track map, of course, for today. You've seen it once, you've seen it twice. How about a third time here, Azerbaijan? The inaugural race in 2016, that was officially called the Grand Prix of Europe, of course. That was the first European Grand Prix since the, I believe, the Valencia Street Circuit race in 2012. It was renamed, of course, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in 2017. In the 2022 race, Fernando Alonso set a new record for the longest Formula 1 career. Race day marked 21 years, 3 months and 8 days since his debut in the 2021 Australian Grand Prix. Of course, as I said at the start, if you weren't with us, Baku is both in Europe and in Asia, and until 1991, of course, the country was part of the Soviet Union. We'll head back to the race circuit. Here it is, the pit garages you can see, as we're just getting ready to go for what should be a fantastic Azerbaijani Grand Prix. Of course, it was Magician who starts on pole position. He took the win in the sprint.
Yep, he certainly will, and I've just done the rookie mistake. I told you not to do it, and I've just opened up the race director, so I'm going to have to restart my game.
During our little ad break, of course, we can talk to each other during the ad break, because through the OBS system, and I was told, don't open your race director. I'm not sure if it's just a glitch on Xbox, which it isn't, by the way. Make sure you don't open it, because it does glitch the game, and you'll never guess what my fantastic co-commentator went and did. Nevertheless, we have a couple of moments now, because thankfully it's not already up. Oh, as I say that, they've all just readied up, but there's no formation lap, folks. Unfortunately, the formation lap does seem to be broken. We've 20 seconds to go. If you are enjoying action here, let us know down below. We always love to hear your comments and thoughts on the race. There was a quantum chant going on a minute ago, but do let us know. Comment who your favourite driver is. Hit a like and make sure to subscribe as we get ready to go then here in the historic city of Baku. Onto the grid now. 2, 3, 4, 5, red lights. And we go racing here in Azerbaijan. Brilliant launch once again from Kimber on the inside. He's up alongside in towards turn number 1. Kimber doesn't quite take the race lead. Little bit of a kerfuffle behind with Zinity. And now down in towards turn number 2. It is Kimber who goes for the race lead. Kimber leads in Azerbaijan. Magician's gone for the switchback on the inside. Almost gets it done. Does get it done. He's alongside now. Heading down in towards turn number 3. Brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing between these two. Magician once again leads around Baku. That's brilliant aggressive defending from him. There is Alpha Tauri in the wall. It's Adam Dude. Both McLarens taking huge chunks out of a poor start. Quantum now looking round the outside of Kimber, not able to make it stick. He's now on the inside of Kimber. He was almost alongside Magician heading in towards turn number 5 and 6. Quantum now back into third position. Kimber in second. Magician in first position, does lead still. We're just trying to get the graphics on preview now, folks. Nico is up 8th positions to 7th. Excellent race start from the Mercedes as we head through the castle section for the first time.
Yep, I'm just joining back now, and what I've heard, it's been an absolutely amazing opening. That luckily you're streaming, so you get everything on the stream, and not just a black screen and just loading up the game once more. But Magician defending that quite well, I heard. But Kimber being under a bit of pressure as I join back from Quantum behind, so it's all starting to kick off once more. Maybe as a lot of drivers on the hard compound of tyres. Everyone's on the hard compound of tyres. Sorry for this race. And Quantum looking to go for a move on Kimber. Will he be able to make it go down the inside or the outside on the Williams? No, just not close enough. Sits behind the Williams and has to sort of leave it for another attempt later on.
Ooh, Zane runs deep into turn number 1. M Racer's taking that spot back. He lost it at the start. That's a yellow flag. That's Benza. That is the man who was leading the sprint at one point, who is out of the race. We are under virtual safety car conditions as Finn picks up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Piccolo. Something tells me that that wasn't a severe collision and he's got an unfair penalty, but we see Adam Dude into the pits. Horror start for AlphaTauri. Adam Dude, your biggest loser on the opening lap. He's down 13. Piccolo has got a 5-second penalty now. That's the polar opposites, and I suppose one action has an equal but opposite force, and he's picked up a 5-second time penalty as well. Nico, your biggest gainer, as we said, up 8 positions, but Amney was under big pressure from Jack. However, Jack falling behind a little bit on the VSC Delta. VSC Delta no more. We are once again upgraded to a full safety car here in the second lap.
Wow, Benza, not the sort of evening he's wanted after that qualifying session. It's just gone so far downhill and now he's out the race. So that's one of the 3 PlayStation drivers out of the race in this predominantly Xbox driver grid. But Piccolo's actually got 10 seconds, so I think he got one for colliding with Finn, which again we don't think is an actual collision. It's probably just a little tap between the front wing and diffuser that's caused that, but he's also gained a place and got a penalty, so he's actually on 10 seconds at the moment. Finn has only got that 5, but that's definitely not what Piccolo needs at the moment. But I know we are quite early on in the race, but only 26 laps. I know it's such a long circuit, but that could be hard to make up that 5 seconds to make sure he has the gap in the pit window.
Yeah, you're spot on there, and of course none of these guys can think about pitting under this early safety car because they're all on the hard tyres. A few do, anyways, might be going for a 2-stop. That's Almond, Venom, Piccolo, Finn and Bobbert's all in. Piccolo going to serve that penalty, I imagine, and just get it out of the way, just so it's off his mind. Almond's gone for the softs. I imagine he'll be going for the medium compounded tyres. The chances are they could probably risk a pit stop like this because it's a very high chance that we have another safety car at some point. I can definitely see that playing out for them. But Magician leads then in Azerbaijan, and I'm sure he would have taken leading the 3rd lap of the Grand Prix when he made his mistake in the sprint. Won the sprint, picked up a maximum of 8 points. He'd love to pick up 26 more here in the main race. So we'll put Magician right in a good position. Of course, he's only scored a solitary point up until the sprint, and now he picked up 8 more and has 9 of them. So of course keep an eye on all the social channels and the Discord and all for championship updates. We'll show you them at the start of every stream. And to remind you who is the championship leader at this point, it is Kimber coming into this round. I believe it still be Kimber because of course he finished 2nd in the sprint, and his main rival Benza, it's a non-finish and a non-finish for Benza, not what he wants at all. As you can see right on cue, he unfortunately leaves the session.
Couldn't have timed that any better for you. So but yeah, Kimber showing that this championship he really wants it, but Magician is showing himself in this one. I mean, still in P1 after, even though that mistake, he never let that get too far ahead of him in a way that he didn't carry on making those mistakes around the lap. He just sort of quickly regrooved and refound the rhythm as quickly as he possibly could, and he did that. And at the moment he's leading the main race after Benza's mistake in the sprint, so it's still all up to play for. I mean, he did have a 2nd lead on Kimber, now reduced to nothing, so it is going to be an absolutely amazing safety car restart with these drivers. They're all going to be really wanting to get moves done, but Almond and Venom could be in the best opportunity to actually make up some moves on the softs, but they will have to box earlier than the rest, and that is also... Actually, no, they're coming in. As I say that, they both fly into the pit lane and might change on to maybe the same set of hards that they were just on, because they could probably make it to the end.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. That could be on for a very interesting strategy. What I thought they'd do is just pit for the softs and then try and extend as far as the hard tyre runners, but that would have been difficult in the first place. They've gone back onto the hards and they now have their mandatory pit stops served. They're going to try and go to the end of the race on those hards, so make sure to keep an eye on those guys. The hards are only 1 lap younger because they didn't do that lap. What's going on?
Damage spun round under the safety car.
Oh, so Venom's also made a mistake. I believe Venom might have front wing damage, actually. And if he does, that's not very good for him, because most likely safety car will be in this lap once again, Codemasters, fantastic cameras. No, he's all okay. I thought there was a front wing missing for Venom. Is Piccolo all okay? I think he is. Okay, both Alpines have survived exiting the pit lane, but damage on the mediums, those tyres will not be liking an early spin.
No, they certainly wouldn't, especially with how young they are as well. I mean, it would help him in the tyre warm-up, but not in the long run. Because, I mean, I think mediums can actually also make it to the end, but they have to be fresh. There's a bit of connection issues there with Expert Ullman. I just saw him go into one wall and then into another. Which wouldn't have been his best option, but it's all okay. Just a bit of lag there. But yeah, damage. It does help him in the tyre warm-up, but again, not overall, where he sort of wants to keep these tyres all the way to the end, which I think he can do, but that certainly wouldn't help his cause.
Yeah, hitting the wall's not ideal for a Grand Prix driver on lap number 4. I think we're going to have another lap under the safety car here, is what's happened to Lucas. Oh, it's a mistake. He stopped, actually. He stopped on the circuit, so I'm not sure if there was maybe a wheel issue or something for Lucas, but certainly he stopped and he's back going again at least. I hope there's no damage or anything for Lucas, because it'd be awful to see his race go down the drain due to something out of his control. I'm not saying he could have just spun, but benefit of the doubt, I suppose we could say. Let's see what Lucas does then. At least he's another lap to recover. May as well maybe pull into the pits and get that mandatory stop served. I think he's already done it anyways. Now he's back in the pit lane, and so is damage, so interesting times here in the Baku City Street circuit. Of course, an interesting fun fact. I love rallying on about fun facts, by the way. If you haven't learned this, folks at home, you're going to get the most random facts of all time. In 2021, it was the first ever podium to have a Mexican, a French, and a German driver stand on the Formula 1 podium together. So, very, very interesting there. I can't imagine that it's going to be the first time where we get a British driver, and a British driver stand on the podium together, as Jax... Is that another spinner? And it seems like these guys are just struggling to keep up with the safety car even here, as he's going to get some spots back, I believe, so that'll help his case, but Jack now making the mistake. That's the third or fourth mistake we've seen under the safety car.
Yeah, everyone just not seeming to... Maybe it's just the tyres being too cold, or the safety car just simply going too quickly for them, so they sort of have to push it a bit. But very odd, especially for drivers of this calibre, be making these mistakes under the safety car, and quite a lot of them. One, maybe you can sort of get away with in this tier, but it is still a bit of a rookie error, but it can happen. But the amount we've seen so far, it's absolutely amazing. Not amazing to see, obviously, but like amazing on how, especially in this high of a tier, to see many drivers spinning around under the safety car. Yeah,
it's not something that is commonly practiced or commonly seen here in the second tier, but we've seen it a few times tonight, and we may just see it again. Safety car will be at the end of this lap, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the action, make sure to pop a like on the stream, make sure to subscribe and check out all the social channels. Pop a comment as well. Comment section's got a bit dry. Make sure to leave your thoughts on the action. Let us know down below if you're enjoying the race here in Azerbaijan. It'll be Magician who gets us underway for the second time in this race weekend. This is the first safety car course of the main Grand Prix. We're on lap number 5 and we go racing here in Baku. A bit of a lag spike there from Magician, but we go racing once again. Good launch from Kimber initially. Is he alongside? No, he's not into the braking zone. Kimber definitely wants this one. He's hot on the heels. Heading down in towards turn number 1. Tudy up the inside of Jack. And Bobberts has to run wide. Bobberts bobbling on the curb. The Alpha Tauri's lost a few positions, not for the first time, through that corner on a restart lap. And Bobberts is just going to have to try and keep it clean, keep it smooth, and keep position here on the opening lap of the restart. Quantum right on the tail of Kimber, but Magician holding firm at the top and leads still here in Azerbaijan. Lap 6 out of 26.
Yeah, that's just exactly the start Magician wanted. Just about to keep Kimber at bay and not really have to defend into turn 1, but just sort of play on his mirrors a bit. But so far, putting away a bit in this middle sector. And Quantum, Kimber going a bit deep there into turn number 8. what have you seen?
No, exact same thing, and Kimber is really slow through here. Is there damage for the Williams? I think that's the front end plate missing for the championship leader. He's really slow for the middle sector. We're just waiting on a better camera on it, and it's really wobbly through the flat out corners. Is there an end plate missing for Kimber? Now, unfortunately, one of the worst times to get the beautiful helicopter shot there is. There's no end plate. There's no front left end plate for the Williams. He has made that mistake that he has spotted into the right-hander. He's tapped the outside wall. Quantum hunting down the Williams. He knows this is his time to shine, and he needs to keep with Magician. Magician just trying to bolt away at the top, just like the sprinter. He's trying to get an advantage here in this race. Kimber's going to stay out, and is he going to try battle the damage? He feels he has the pace to battle the damage, and Jax is going to battle Typical here, heading in towards turn number 1. The McLaren has made passes look easy today. He's made that one look just as easy, and there's a slow Alfa Romeo and a huge wobble for Jax on the curb, somehow catching the car, somehow holding position. That all came from the wobble from the reserve driver of Zane, but Jax now 9th, Zane 8th, Typical in 10th position. Still no gain for Quantum. Does Kimber have damage? He looked oh so quick for a man with damage. We'll take a look here. Yeah, there's no end plate on that car. I'm definitely not seeing things. There is no end plate.
Well, I mean, he could be quicker in the straight lines due to the fact he has less downforce. So,
Lucas is on the intermediates, which is questionable. That is a questionable decision.
Unless he's seen something on his screen that we aren't.
Maybe that would be
a very questionable choice.
Yeah, that would explain maybe him running wide in the final braking zone, but nevertheless, the two AlphaTauris were getting oh so close, and of course, as I said earlier, Hartley and Gasly weren't AlphaTauris, they were Toro Rossos, but Toro Rosso, of course, formerly AlphaTauri, got very close to this section. They won't be looking to repeat that. AlphaTauri could do with some good points. They certainly could do with a better result than 12th and 13th, that is for sure. But up the top, Magician leads by 1.5 seconds. Quantum is right on the tail of Kimber. He's looking to take this position.
He certainly is. I was just aboard with Lucas. He might genuinely have rain on his screen because his tyres aren't overheating on his dashboard.
Oh, that would be horrendous. That if someone has a view of Lucas's POV, please let us know whether he does genuinely have rain or it is just a suicide mission. Up the inside goes Adam Dude. Oh, somehow not going deep into the wall. That's a great move from Adam Dude, and it looks like Expert Almond as well is on the back of Venom. Typical trying to fight back, and Bobberts, despite being on the quicker tyres here at this stage, he's not looking the quicker. Now he's going for a move though. He's proven me wrong. He's turned on the battery, and up the inside of the Aston Martin goes Bobberts. Late braking manoeuvre. Great late braking manoeuvre for Bobberts. He's got the job done, and now Typical just looking to try and retake that position.
Yeah, he is going to try everything Typical. He's a very quick driver, and definitely not going to give up. But I mean, Bobberts on the mediums, he sort of wants to use those to his advantage at the moment if he's not taking them to the end, which he could do. I mean, they are only 5 laps old, but he certainly will definitely have to just keep keeping drivers under pressure, really, to force them into the mistakes that we've seen so far. And I mean, at the moment, Zinity and Quantum, they are sort of on the back of Kimber. I mean, Zinity is falling back from Quantum, but Kimber could maybe be under a bit of pressure from Quantum, but with that wing damage, he's not seeming too slow, is he?
No, and just reading the comments, I think he picked that up actually before the safety car. I think Kimber picked it up due to Quantum braking early. Here comes Quantum though. Let's see how early he brakes this time. Is he's going to chuck one up the inside maybe of the Williams. Late braking into towards turn number 1. Quantum's into 2nd position. And another thing to point out, Lucas is not losing that much time. There could be a genuine explanation to why he's on the intermediates.
Yeah, I mean, we did say rain could throw up a bit of a spiciness this evening, and it seems to have done on Lucas's point of view. As Expert Almond and Typical, they get a bit too close for comfort, a bit of wheel banging going on there. That's allowing Finn to then attack both the Aston Martin and the Alfa
Lucas is
Ferrari,
out.
sorry.
This could be a safety car, it is. This is a safety car! Ooh. just as we got to the braking zone, it looked like there was going to be a little bit of a pile-up, but they all avoided it. Some great driving. Lucas is out of the session. I really, at least we might get an explanation.
Yeah, hopefully we do, because I am so confused with that. And the thing was, his tyres weren't overheating, and he wasn't losing that much time. So I am still so confused with Lucas's decision there. But
the thing is,
if there was Kimber a chance.
If there was no rain on his screen, that was a really impressive stint, because he only lost about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I've popped him a message in the Discord, we'll see. He said, "Oh my god, I am stupid," which would make me believe he has accidentally gone on the intermediate tyres and he's just tried to frame it, which you have my respect, Lucas, if that's the case, but we will wait and see. Magician, he's going to be kicking himself because he had a really nice margin built up. Will we see these guys into the pits? We're about to find out in a couple of seconds.
I reckon they will, because this is around about the pit window, lap 12-ish.
Okay, I have an explanation for Lucas. He didn't have any sets of tyres left. As Magician is in, he's also crossed the white line as Magician. He could be in trouble for that.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Magician's drove a brilliant race. It's not get him down on a little bit of a penalty here on crossing the line, but he had no sets of tyres left.
No, because he was spun in the sprint, he genuinely had no sets of tyres left, and unless there was a safety car, he didn't have tyres to go to the end. He only had used hards, used mediums, used whatever, so he decided to chuck on a set of inters and hope there was a safety car. Well, there was a safety car, but unfortunately for Lucas, it was caused by him. And now we have a very interesting strategy on our hands. VSR Quantum leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Yep, Zenity and Amin have also jumped Kimber in the pit window there due to Kimber's damage, so Kimber will be up to speed a lot more now. But he has 2 other cars to get by it, and Damage is actually out behind Magician, which could help Magician with the driver behind him, but some of these can actually go to the end of the race if the tyres can last. And I think hards can last a whole race if you box onto them on lap 1. So these hard runners might be looking to go to the end with the likes of Venom, Finn, Expert Almond and Piccolo ahead of Magician, and they could hold him up a bit, but I'm still giving the utmost fair play to Lucas. What a stint that was on the intermediates.
Yeah, it was only about 2 laps, but still, he only lost about 2 seconds on the complete wrong compound of tyres in very, very dry conditions. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunny Monday evening here in Azerbaijan. It's certainly a nice day to get out for a barbecue in February. There's going to be some people who probably turn off the stream for me even mentioning the thought of a barbecue in February, but nevertheless, it is a very, very shuffled top 10. It's Quantum, M-Racer, Nico, Jack, Adam Dude, Tudy, Venom, Finn, Expert Almond, Piccolo. And the drivers in that group who have... Oh, apologies, didn't have the lap data on. The drivers who have made a pit stop, it is Adam Dude, who's made 2, Venom's made 2, Finn's made 2, Expert Almond's made 2, and Piccolo has made 2. The only drivers who have not made a pit stop in this race are Quantum, M-Racer, Nico, Jax and Tudy, so they all do have to pull into the pit lane. The biggest gainer so far in this Grand Prix, it is shared between Finn and between Nico, both Mercedes who had horrible sprints, having very, very, very nice main Grand Prix so far. Of course, still plenty of laps of racing to go here in World Online Racing Crossplay Tier 2 Championship.
Yeah, there certainly is. I mean, on lap 11 of 26. It has flown by, to be fair, for the amount of laps we've had under safety car. But surely we'll be underway at the end of this lap. I mean, typical now down to last place. The thing is, this was the right time for some of these drivers to box. The likes of Quantum, who was with Kimber and Magician. M-Racer and Jack staying out might be a better option. Same with Nico as well, so a bit further down the order. Same with 2D. But if I really would have thought Quantum would have boxed there to go with Magician, be on the same strategy, make sure you don't lose any time to him, and overall, just he surely, if he has someone watching the stream or he's watching the stream, would know he would get ahead of Kimber because of that wing damage that Kimber did have.
Well, Kimber, he certainly has work to do, but his pace was excellent even with the wing damage, so I wouldn't expect it to be too difficult for him. But he does have some quick drivers in front of him. He has aim neatly his Zenity. Both very, very fast, and we saw them prove that in qualifying. It was a 4th and 5th start for them, I believe, in the actual qualifying session, not the sprint, of course. But safety car might be in at the end of this lap. We're on lap 11 out of 26, of course. We will find out very shortly if the safety car is in, right about now. Oh, that was on cue. That was very nice. Thank you very much, Mr. Aston Martin safety car. Safety car is in this lap, ladies and gentlemen, so we will be going racing very shortly. As I have said previously, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to pop a subscription on the channel. It is absolutely 100% free. Make sure to pop a like on the channel. Make sure to click that notification bell so you know when the Tier 2 stream is live every week. We are live every Thursday at 8 o'clock. And make sure to pop a comment down below if you're just on any of your thoughts, even if you want to pop a joke in, even if you'd like, about one of the drivers. But we will read all of them if possible. Back to the racing then. Quantum is gone, and we go racing here in Azerbaijan once again. That's an excellent restart for Quantum. That's a terrible restart for Nico, and I believe one of them had to lift off before the line because you cannot overtake before that start-finish line. But Nico is in 3rd position. Jack in 4th. The two VSR drivers battling here. Both Mercedes powering. One in a silver scheme, one in the papaya orange. Bit of a wobble from Jack. We've seen him have a few wobbles today. That's certainly not the first one, but he's still piling on the pressure to the man who's in the final podium position. Kimber already dispatching damage. Williams past Williams. Magician past Almond up the inside. The provisional race, or not the provisional race leader, but one of the race leaders is up to 9th, and that's damage out of the Grand Prix. Are we going to go into safety car conditions again? I don't believe so. We're going to stay green for now. Kimber and Piccolo side by side. Kimber's gone clean around the outside. Kimber has very good pace here, and the man in front of him, it is Magician's teammate of Zinity, so he's got to be doing everything he possibly can to keep him behind, because of course he's going to want to defend for the man he knows is his teammate who could easily win this one. He's on the best tyres. In the best position is Magician. No safety car for damage. That's unfortunately 2 out of 3 PlayStation drivers who are out, and Zane is down in 17th. Not a good day for the PlayStation platform here in Crossplay Tier 2.
No, it certainly isn't. I think it was actually Zane and Damage that actually came together in that accident, so certainly not what they wanted. But Zinity, what does he do? Does he focus? Oh, Magician does go a bit wide, though.
He does go a bit
better run.
He does go a bit wide. I wasn't sure if he had to counteract to some early braking from Finn, but nevertheless, Magician is on the back of Finn here. He's got to burn his ERS. He's tucking up right behind the Mercedes. He needs to get a hurry on because Finn is dropping off the pack. Outside or inside? Magician chooses outside. He's going to surely fly past here. Finn, not too bad straight line speed. Here comes Almond. He's going to try and make it a double into towards turn number 1. He doesn't. He backs off in the end. Is he going to try and hang around the outside of Almond? That would be silly beggars if he was. And he has backed off, and Magician is through. Zinity now dives up the inside of Almond, and if you do not attack, you will be attacked here in Baku. Haas both up to 10th and 8th. Kimber is up to 11 past Almond. Almond's lost 3 positions in the space of 2 corners. Yellow flag. That's Venom who's out. Oh, that's Venom out right on the curb. That's the safety car conditions. That's one of the top 10 runners. Venom is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
I think Zinity just got... No, I was going to say I think Zinity just got Finn there, but Venom, I was looking so well, and again, just bad luck in the little bit of a race situation, and he's just gone straight into the wall. He might have been put into the wall there, but you never know. With that tyre, that's a weird tyre to come off with him there on the curb. It was the left front instead of usually the right front.
Maybe hit the inside wall.
Maybe hit the inside wall and then just bounced across. But I mean, this gives Zane a bit of a lifeline, makes him come back into the race, and this surely is when Quantum hits, and it's sort of perfect for him if you think about it, because look at the gaps that are through the field. Quantum, I don't think Quantum will come out ahead of Magician. It will be very, very close though, but Quantum could still be in the lead of this race, and this actually gives some of the other drivers on the hards that never did a Vauxhall a chance to really come back and fight for a race win, where Magician seems so comfortable to be in the net P1.
Quantum stays out. That's a very peculiar decision. M-Racer in, Nico in. These guys can't believe their luck. It's Christmas has come early for them with that safety car. But Quantum surprisingly stays out. Adam Dude stays out, but that's of course he has served his mandatory pit stop. Nico's gone for the softs. That's peculiar.
That's very peculiar. I mean, if he wants, you can't do the rest of the race on the softs. Maybe it's the only set of tyres he has free. But at the end of the day, with lap 14 and 26, I don't think you would need fresh tyres. Bobbitt's also going on to the softs. Some of these strategies not the most orthodox.
Unless these guys are just hoping that we do get safety car central to the end of the race like we have had. This is, of course, the third safety car, I think, in this Grand Prix. Unless they're just hoping that we get a few more and their softs will be in peak condition come towards the end. It's bold, it's very bold, but it's feasible considering what we've had so far. Quantum, though, he's definitely hanging it out and hoping for a late safety car and to change on to that set of softs, but he leads here in Azerbaijan. It's Adam Dude in second, Magician third, Finn in fourth, Zinity fifth, Kimber sixth, Piccolo in seventh, Typical in eighth, M-Racer ninth, followed by Nico, Tudy, Jax, Alwyn, Bobberts, Aimley and Zane. Non-finishers so far are Venom, Damage, Lucas and Benza. Whether that list will extend, I imagine it will, because unfortunately that is the nature of the Baku City Street circuit.
Yeah, it really is. I reckon there could be a few more drivers to retire. If we have a clean race to the end, that would actually very surprise me. But I think shout out to Bernd Mailander. I think he's led more laps of this Grand Prix than any other driver so far. I mean, I think this is the fourth safety car period. So I think the game does put a limit on it, because there was, I think, about 5 or 6. I don't know if they removed that. I know it was on previous games.
No, it's definitely still 5, I think.
Still 5, so it might still have one more safety car. And
I think it's 5 on 50%. I think they've upped it on 100% races, but sure, look, that doesn't mean anything to us. It is definitely the fourth safety car period of the weekend, that's for sure. I'm not too sure if it's third or fourth in this race, but nevertheless.
One for Benza, one for Luke. No, it's our third for this race.
It's third, and then we had one in the sprint, I think. That's...
Yeah.
But
that's what's thrown us off.
Oliver Loveland in the comments saying, "What is Quantum cooking?" Well, I couldn't tell you, because I really don't know why he hasn't pit. I can understand why Adam Dude's risking it, because he's just playing a beggar's game and hoping that he can win due to the fact his tyres will still be okay come the end of the race. But unless Quantum has pulled into the pit lane, but
he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. So he's the only man not to make a mandatory pit stop. We've very few who've even only made one pit stop. There's a lot of guys who have did a double stop, and whoever was on the softs, believe it was Nico, is now boxed for the medium compounded tyre, so I think that might have just been a mistake on his behalf on selecting the wrong tyres.
Yeah, I mean, which is not really the greatest, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, especially with how this race has gone so far. Hopefully, though, these drivers can all sort of make it to the end. Quantum, I don't know what he's doing here. Is he praying for another safety car to then go on the soft?
Yeah, that surely has to be it. That surely has to be it.
Feasible. That has to be the only way.
Yeah, because he could easily get mediums to the end from here, so it has to surely be that he's just hoping for softs and that everybody dives into the softs, so he's still in the race lead.
It's a risky strategy, but it can work. He needs to pray to the sim racing gods that he gets another safety car. Very
risky, that is for sure. But we've had 3 safety car periods in this race, and we're on lap 15. With 10 or so laps to go, we could definitely get another couple more, but one thing that is for sure is the safety car is in this lap. Quantum will lead it, so he will get another lap lead under his belt, that is for sure. Is he going to try catch out Adam Dude just like he caught out his opponents on the last restart? I imagine he will. He went very early on the last restart and did quite catch them out, but has to wait till the safety car passes safety car line 1 in the pit lane, of course, or on the game when it just enters the pit lane. But on board with the RB18, we can see him just weaving, just trying to get the tyres in temperature. Safety car's in the pits now, he's clear to go. as we go racing once again in Azerbaijan. It's another excellent restart from Adam Dude. It's not a great restart from Finn, and Zinity is up alongside the Mercedes, down in towards turn number 1. Magician looking to just defend. Finn up the inside. Zinity clean around the outside. That's an excellent move by Zinity. Kimber looking up the inside of Finn as well. Finn weaves to defend. Oh, Adam Dude's gone deep. Adam Dude has gone deep. Has he hit the wall there? I'm not too sure if he has or not, but Adam Dude has gone deep, but he's lost the spot there. It's now Haas 2-3 on the podium. Finn up to 4th, even looking to attack Zinity into the braking zone. It's a huge send from Adam Dude. Hangs around the outside, actually taps the outside wall. Very lucky not to ricochet back in front of the track. The AlphaTauri. Oh, Finn in the wall. Finn is in the wall, and that's complete damage for the Mercedes. He's lost his full front wing, and that is any chance of a race win gone for Finn, unfortunately. He's locked a brake, and he's hit that outside wall. Easy mistake to make. We've seen it from Nico Hülkenberg. We've seen it from Max Verstappen throughout the years here in Baku. That is oh so unfortunate from him. We've seen it from Charles Leclerc as well, more famously, into this castle section. But Quantum leads here in Azerbaijan. Magician in 2nd, Zinity 3rd. It's then Kimber, Piccolo, Typical, M-Racer, Jack, Nico, Expert, Almond. That's your top 10. Almond will be very chuffed with this one, considering how his sprint race went. He was, of course, dead last for the majority of that after a spin on the opening lap and on the restart lap in the sprint. But there's a little bit of a train forming involving the two McLarens of M-Racer and Jax. They have worked very well in unison together so far, and the McLaren team are going to keep working through the points here. Typical under pressure now from M-Racer. Or more crucially, up the top, actually. Magician putting Quantum under pressure. These two battled in the sprint. Here comes Magician then up the inside of Quantum. This is going to be easier set. This is going to be easier done than said almost by the looks of things. Quantum, no grip on those older tyres. Magician leads once again in Azerbaijan. He's really looking comfortable for 25 points here. M-Racer up the inside of Piccolo. Can he get the job done on the Alpine? He has got the job done on the Alpine. Excellent move. Looks like Jax could look up the inside of the Aston Martin, the Typical. Oh, that's a beauty of a move from Jax. He's got that one done. McLaren looking very strong on the fresher tyres, and Typical, he's been put offline, so he's going to lose another spot maybe. Nico working with his VSR teammate of VSR Jack up the inside in towards turn number 3. The Mercedes has got the job done. There is no drama for the other Mercedes in this sector on this lap. Nico up to 8th, Typical down to 9th. Typical was in 7th entering this sector as Jack up the inside of Piccolo. Oh, that is beautiful, beautiful racecraft from Jack. McLaren still could be in with a shout of a podium here.
They certainly can, and I was about to say, is Nico is battling with Piccolo down into turn number 8, I think that is, and that was actually a really nice move from him as well. Nico down the inside there, but I was going to say that M-Racer actually got both Piccolo and Typical into turn 1. Typical had to back off due to Piccolo in front of him. He had so much overspeed that he had to just let off the throttle, and M-Racer was like, thank you very much, gets past Typical and then got Piccolo in the braking zone. And that's just sort of caused this whole chain reaction of Piccolo getting overtaken, Typical getting overtaken. And now they sort of are now starting to hold up train up of Pete's hen being Shizue Zane. So he's absolutely loving life. We did say that the last safety car brought him back into contention. He's up into the points, and we might see Typical make a move here on Piccolo.
He goes. He's gone for the move.
Around the outside.
Here we go, look at Zane, he's going to try go for them both here. He's gone past one. Can the PlayStation man go up the inside of another? It's going to have to be real bravery on the brakes, and he does not have that bravery. Or maybe more, he has some common sense not to go up the inside of the Aston Martin there, but the Alfa Romeo is back into the points here somehow in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The safety cars really brought him back into contention. Boberts could even finish in the points here. Picked up 4, of course, into Lagos. Didn't pick up any last week in the Circuit of the Americas, but he's looking to pick up some more here in, I was about to say here in Texas, but that of course is the Circuit of the Americas, here in Baku. Lap 18 out of 26, no safety car yet to save Quantum, but Magician leads, and that gap still, or now it is, unfortunately for Quantum, it is over a second. It's very much fluctuating, however.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Quantum, he's still got some decent pace in this 17 lap old cards, but always tap the wall a bit there on the inside. Hopefully that doesn't give him any wing damage. Excuse me, but Zinity, he really needs to make this move, because Kimber, as soon as he gets within that window of attack, Kimber is very, very quick, and you need to make sure there's a car in between you and him for as long as possible and try to extend that gap for as long as possible. So Zinity, sort of a now or never move on Quantum he needs to make within the next few laps, or Kimber definitely within a real chance of overtaking him.
Yeah, Zinity, he's really on the back of Quantum here. This could be a very good result for Haas Formula 1. Here comes Zinity, then tucked into the slipstream. Red light flashing on the back of the Red Bull. That means his battery's less than 10%. Is Zinity going to try it up the inside? Of course he's going to try it up the inside. Braking for turn number 1. Haas have a 1-2 in Baku, and if there's no safety car here, you'd have to root for them to possibly get the first 1-2 finish of the season. Kimber is right on the back of Quantum, though. This is the position Kimber wouldn't want to be in. He'd want to be leading from the front, the championship leader. He's got to be looking up the inside of Quantum, but Quantum's going to be attacking himself. Kimber nevertheless threads the needle up the inside, gets the job done. Excellent move from Kimber. He is in third position here in Azerbaijan. This is a great race.
Oh, Quantum's made a mistake and he's let M-Racer by. M-Racer's had a fantastic last few laps. He was about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds behind this battle in front of him of Quantum, Zinity and Kimber. He's now right all over the back of the Williams and he's already passed Quantum, so absolutely amazing. It was actually quite smart by Quantum as well to not go for the move on Zinity, because that could have ended in tears with the age of his tyres. So he sort of backed out, maybe knowing Kimber was there, but just to make sure nothing really happened. But I don't think he's going to get saved at this moment in time unless something really big happens. But M-Racer certainly within a shout of not only third but second place in this race.
Yeah, certainly he looks at the quicker of this front crew, and he may have a go on both Kimber and Zinity. Down in towards turn number 1, a corner he loves to make some overtakes, but Kimber right on the tail of Zinity, heading down the 2010 metre straight. Here comes the Williams. He's going to fly past the Haas, the track where Williams have the top speeds. Kimber has the top speed on Zinity, and he's got the job done into second position. Zinity, unfortunately, that second position only lasted a lap for him, as Zane's up the inside of Typical. We'll drop back and take a look at this battle as the Alfa Romeo gets the job done on the Aston Martin, and the Alfa Romeo on the better tyres now, just with a bit of an advantage. Tudy and Piccolo here in a scrap, and I have to say, it's actually the man on the worst tyres here, as Amity is into the pit lane. Zinity and Kimber will go back up to this battle. Zinity's retaken second position from Kimber. We didn't expect that one, or certainly I didn't expect that one, but Zinity back up to second place. He's another story to tell in this one.
It seemed to be a very strategic game there by Zinity, maybe letting Kimber just have that inside, get by, and then just using the second burst of DRS to get back by. But of course, very similar ERS as well, not too much of a deficit between the two, but M-Racer behind having loads compared to Kimber and Zinity, so he's definitely one to look out for in this battle. And look, they're starting to reeling. Magician as Finn retires in the pit lane. That shouldn't bring out the safety car, but I have seen it happen before, so I don't trust the game. Just be on the lookout. But Magician losing time here. Does he maybe have a bit of wing damage that we can't see?
Or maybe he's starting to panic, and unfortunately panic is what causes many great performances to go down that horrible Formula 1 terrible end to race drain. Zinity is closing in on his teammate. Maybe Magician went too quick too early and just burned out those Pirelli medium compound of tyres. Kimber right in the DRS of Zinity does not make it work this time. He's going to wait for that second DRS. Nico up the inside of Jack. Jack's progress has halted, and the Mercedes is back past Jack. Got past him very early on. Yellow flag, that is for the other Mercedes of Finn, who's out of the race. We have five retirements here in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Is Kimber going to try it up the inside of Zinity? No, he'd have to be a brave boy to go up the inside there, and braver than I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, maybe Magician's doing that for... Oh, what have you seen?
No, there was a... I'm not sure if it was a lag spike or something, but it certainly looked like Kimber had tapped the back of the Haas, but I think it was just a bit of lag.
Oh, okay, but I was going to say, maybe Magician's done this strategically to try and keep Zinity ahead of Kimber. He's just dropped off a tiny bit, let Zinity catch up within that DRS, and then allowing Kimber to go. Oh, and Zinity has a huge moment. I don't know if that was lag. Hopefully that was, but he had a huge moment there through Castle, going pretty much parallel to the circuit right there. But, I mean, Magician, is he doing it strategically? I don't know. But
it certainly looks like he's managing the gap. I can see where you're coming from with that. It
Yeah.
certainly looks like he's managing this gap, and that it's not like coming down like he's lost pace, and he might just be giving Zinity a bit of a tow, bit of a distance tow, bit of DRS, and a little bit of an assistance here to defend as that gap goes over a second. Heading down the straight, he'll still have the DRS. He was in it in the detection point. Here comes the Williams then, tucked right up. We can see M-Racer is attacking the Williams as well. This could be a freeway fight down the long straight here in Baku. Kimber gonna look for the inside, M-Racer gonna look for the outside. Is it 3 wide? Bit of wheel banging into there. Kimber's wide, the McLaren is through. Kimber goes wide, the McLaren's through on both of them. Through goes M-Racer. Zinity runs wide, M-Racer's taken second. He was 4th in the braking zone, he's 2nd come turn 2, and he's 2nd in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Yeah, but here comes Zinity trying to fight back. He's gone to the outside. There
was
was
in the wall! Zinity in the wall! The Haasman, this just gets more dramatic as we go on. How has he avoided damage? I really don't know how he's avoided damage there. There's certainly nothing visual on his car. Absolute clatter, that right-hand barrier. M-Racer could still win this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It would be a miracle as he started 19th in the sprint, started 8th in the main Grand Prix. It would be magic by the man who's not the magician here in this Grand Prix.
Oh my god, M-Racer, what a drive this would be. I know he's had the sprint race, but that's only 9 laps added on at the end of the day. It's not too much as X, but Ullman gets 5 seconds speed in the pit lane. He's another retirement in the pits, but I mean, M-Racer has that gap.
Oh, in the wall! Oh, he has the gap! He has the gap, he doesn't have the composure, and he's hit the wall! How has he avoided damage? Have we turned damage off for the final few laps? I think we have, as Quantum has dived into the pit lane. Completely forgot to mention that one, but he's gone for the softs. He's given up the ghost, unfortunately. Almond is out of the Grand Prix. Here comes Kimber then. It's another time to attack on Zinity. He is going for the outside, and he's got the job done on the Haasman. Kimber would have liked him to get that job done 1 lap previous. Zinity going to defend to the outside. Is this good enough for the Haas? It is not. Kimber then into the podium placings here in Baku. Now his job is to hunt down M-Racer, and all these guys making mistakes while Magician just looking cool and calm up the top.
Yeah, I don't know if M-Racer's got damage. It might not be visual damage, but it looks like he has some. But oh my god, Expert Ullman's AI is nearly just taken out Magician there.
I thought that was Magician off, I won't lie. Oh, that's... Zinity in the wall! Zinity in the wall, that's due to him being thrown completely offline, and that's Jack's gone straight on! That is Jack's gone straight on, not for the first time in that corner today. He's gone straight on at turn number 6. Jack's very, very unfortunate for him, but it's a horrible error to make. This race just keeps getting more dramatic as Nico is all on the back of Zinity now. Zinity is all over the place, not too sure if he has damage. How he's avoided it twice, I don't really know. But as said in the comments, this is all kicking off. This is not over. This is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Yeah, it just shows what this track can throw. We have had in real life, they've not been the most boring races, but they've been more strategic battles. But Nico's had to cut the corner there to avoid Zinity. Hits the wall himself as well, I think, there on the inside. And oh my god, everyone is somehow avoiding damage. I don't understand how, but Kimber, further up here, battling with M-Racer for this P2 position.
Kimber, the championship leader, hunting down on the fast-flying McLaren. Here comes Kimber then. It's got to be the inside, surely. There's no late defensive maneuvers from M-Racer. He's defended a couple of times into the corner. That's Adam Dude into the wall. M-Racer, the corner where he took 2 spots in one go, loses his grasp on second position in this Grand Prix, and Kimber is through. Will he have another chance to attack? He's got a very good exit, mind you. The DRS flap is wide open on that McLaren. The gap up the front, 1.5 seconds. It's the 2 who battled late in the sprint for the win, who are battling once again here in the main Grand Prix. It's Magician versus Kimber.
I mean, they were both on the same tyre health as well. Magician, it seemed to maybe put that in the wall there on the exit of turn number 4. Is Zinity and Nico now battling as they head into turn 4.
Contact between the 2. Zinity has hit Nico around, and Nico's lost the position. That gap is now 5.5 seconds between. This is a whole train back here, going all the way back to Tudy. There's been a huge mistake from Magician. I think Magician may have bottled this one. Does he have damage? Because he's really lost a second and a 10th in one sector here in Azerbaijan. There's no visual damage, but certainly something's gone wrong for the Haas. He's got to defend from Kimber, unless he plans on backing up Kimber into M-Racer or something of the like. It would be stupid. It'd be a stupid decision. He just has to defend down this straight 3 more times. We'll get the ERS on screen for you now, folks. There, it is in the favour of Magician, but DRS Slipstream on board the fast-flying Williams. Look at Magician fly here, though. It was the opposite in the sprint. It was Kimber who had the straight line speed. And look at this, Typical is all on the back of Zinity. Back up the front then for the race lead. Is Kimber going to dive it up the inside? He's not. He's going to stick behind. Look at this, it's 3 wide. It's 3 battling. Zinity, Typical. Oh, Zinity in the pit lane. Judy, is he going to look up the inside of Typical as well? This would be an unbelievable fight if it was to happen. No, he doesn't look for it. Zane retires from the Grand Prix. Battle for the race lead. Kimber looking for the outside on Magician on the penultimate lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's millimetre close. He backs off. Does not work. Magician just about defending into the corner, runs a defensive line heading in towards turn number 5. He pushes Kimber to the outside. This is unbelievable defensive driving from Kimber. If this works out, this will be a splendid performance.
Yeah, it certainly will. And actually, somewhere while we were commentating over this, Zinity actually lost his front wing. Magician makes a bit of a mistake. This could allow Kimber down the inside into turn 8.
Look how close these 3 are. Haas, Williams and McLaren don't know what's going on. These drivers don't know what's going on. They're all so close here on the penultimate lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. M-Racer has the better tyres. Kimber on the 15 lap old mediums as well as the man in front of him, Magician. M-Racer 11 lap old mediums. Nico 8.5 seconds back because of that. I think Nico's some damage as well, but he's just escaped the chaos. Oh, Kimber's at top the wall. Look at this, M-Racer's looking up the inside. Kimber's tapped that outside wall. He's made too many mistakes if he wants to win the race. He's dropped out of DRS. They all seem to be falling all over the place. They all seem to be making mistakes. M-Racer's hungry for a win here in WOR Tier 2. He's right on the back of Kimber. That's Jax out of the race, his teammate. There's drivers going off all over the place. Here comes M-Racer to the outside. It's chaotic here in Azerbaijan. Kimber, is he going to keep it up the inside of M-Racer? No, M-Racer's up into second position. M-Racer could still win this Azerbaijan Grand Prix if he plays his cards right. Kimber dives him back down the inside. Oh, no, that's not the move for Kimber. He's almost put them both in the wall. That's not what you want to do. The win's gone for them both. This is an ultimate scrap for second now. Kimber is going to keep his grasp on it. M-Racer in third position. My goodness me, what a scrap this is, but that's their chance of the win gone.
It surely is, unless Magician makes an absolutely monumental mistake, and it has to be monumental to really bring these two back into the fight. And I mean, if I was M-Racer, I'll be absolutely fuming with what Kimber has just done. A chance of a win gone down the drain. I mean, he sort of ruined it for himself trying to go down the inside into the final braking zone, but still, it's absolutely kicked off here. Probably one of the best finishes to Baku I've seen in a long time, and maybe, just maybe,
oh, Kimber round! There's another twist in the tail! The championship leader spins round in the Williams, and that's not what he needs because Nika's going to come flying past. Kimber falls off the podium in the dying embers here in Azerbaijan, rounding the final couple of corners. It's M-Racer and Magician. The Haasman has enough ERS in the tank to get down this straight. No mistakes needed in these flat-out lefts and rights for Magician, and he will see this one home quite comfortably in the end. Rounding the final corner comes Magician. He's home and dry. When all others have lost their heads around them, Magician has somehow kept his in the crazy chaos of the Azerbaijan street. Magic in qualifying, became magic in the sprint. Composure in the Grand Prix sees Magician win the Azerbaijani Grand Prix. M-Racer comes home in second. It's a drag race for third. Is Typical going to take him on the line? Oh, he just about doesn't. Nico in third. Chudy's got fifth. Kimber 6th. He's gone from 3rd to 6th. He's gone from 2nd to 6th in the last lap. Kimber, oh, it was really slipped away from him. Quantum's come home 7th. Bobbert's in 8th. Piccolo will come home 9th. And Zinity will take the final points in what might just be one of the craziest World Online League races you've ever seen.
Wow, that... Oh my god, you cannot put that into words, that race. If someone told me earlier on today that race was going to happen, I would have bit their hand off. But wow, that was absolutely amazing. 2 photo finishes to the line, one with Kimber and 2D, one with Typical and Nico. And wow, Magician just keeping his composure, just making sure he puts the power down when he needs to. He did it, Kimber bottled it, and wow, I can't believe what just happened.
That is the race of the ages around Azerbaijan. They typically gift first podiums. Lance Stroll picking up his first podium, of course, in 2017. Magician picks up his first podium of the season. The man who had 1 point coming in will leave it with a quite beautiful tally. He's taken pole, sprint and Grand Prix victory. That's an unbelievable one. My throat is even feeling not the better of that one. That was a crazy, crazy Grand Prix. We're going to try and get some of the drivers in for interviews as per always, folks, so make sure you do stick around. But the full race results will be coming up very shortly.
Wow.
Who even got third in the end of that one? Was it Nico?
It was Nico who got third by, like, I think it was something like 25,000.
Oh, it was, yeah. I was just messaging them to ask would they like to do interviews, and I couldn't even. Oh, we're not going to get race results. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're not going to get race results. We will swap to the interview tab fairly quickly. We'll see can we get the guys in. As unfortunately we don't get to see the full race results. I'll grab them up on my phone now, and we will I shall run you through them. It was, of course, Magician who won the Grand Prix ahead of M-Racer, Nico, Typical, Tudy, Kimber, Quantum, Bobberts, Piccolo, Amney, and Zinity. No, apologies, Zinity did get Amney. Right at the death.
So there was 3 photo finishes.
Seemingly Magician is on course for a 5-second time penalty, according to Quantum. That'll be unfortunate.
Oh, is it the pit lane?
Oh, it might be. I think I've landed them in the mud there, unfortunately.
Oh. Wow.
Well, I might not mention that if he joins for an interview.
I mean, 5 seconds, would that take him back enough?
Yeah, I think it would, unfortunately. I think that would give the win to M-Racer.
I think it will still be second, though, so still a decent result for him.
Still a very good result for him. It's still excellent points.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the day, 1 point, and leaving at the moment with 33. That is absolutely amazing for him. So
now he might not necessarily pick up. He might not necessarily pick up a penalty. I know there is a dashed bit of that line. He might have just got in over it, but it certainly looked like he did cross it, which would be so unfortunate for him if he did. As unfortunately, none of them have replied to our interview message, so we'll have to we'll pop another one and see can we get them in.
Yeah. All right. But wow, that was one of the craziest finishes to a Grand Prix I have ever seen. I mean, carnage, wheel-to-wheel battles. It just had it all, didn't it?
Very true. We'll pop. There was 11 finishers, I believe. Amney, unfortunately, was the one who didn't get to pick up points. I think Zinity got him on the final couple of corners. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for that one. Of course, you can tune in next week. We're not finished up. We're still going to try and get the guys in for an interview. They're just not replying to messages. There's a bit of argument going on, as you can imagine, with such a hectic race. You can join us next week, though, when we head to Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix, and then we do head to Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's then off to the Algarve region of Portugal for a sunny Portuguese Grand Prix, and then to Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. We then head over to the Arabian Sea for the Bahrain Grand Prix and the Sakir International Circuit, and then Saudi Arabia for the in the Jeddah Corniche circuit, then to Abu Dhabi as we head back to Europe then for the Italian Grand Prix in Imola. Then we do head to China, Silverstone, and Austria to round out the season. That's what you can look forward to in WOR. But wow, what a crazy race we had.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, I don't know if you could add anything else to that to make that as spicy as it was. Maybe M Racer and Magician a photo finish, but I mean Kimber, he just looked not settled in that P2.
Get Magician for an interview. I didn't think he was going to join us, but we are actually going to get him for an interview.
Well, if I quickly finish up, I was going to say that it just shows that we said earlier on, to score points, you just have to survive overall. You just have to survive the carnage and capitalise on the opportunities that are thrown at you.
Yeah, that is very true. We are just waiting for our race winner to join the interview channel, and then we will get him in on the stream. But yeah, I think that might be the craziest race of the season. I think it's going to take a lot to beat that.
I think the only one that has a real possibility of beating that is Jeddah. I know it's another street circuit, but that's what really throws up those sort of dramatized races, because it's so tight, so sketchy, pretty much one line. And again, another high-speed circuit.
Well, we are going to bring Magician into the commentary box now. Oh, I've almost put him in a design folder. Hello, Magician, can you hear us?
I think your mic's muted, Magician.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, firstly, congratulations. That was pole position, the sprint race win, and the main Grand Prix race win. Talk us through that one, because that was really hectic from our point of view. I can imagine it was from yours as well.
All the safety cars ruined me, pretty much. I had a 3-second lead after the first one, which pretty much gone. Then safety car. Then I pitted on the safety car, which was a good strategy from my boy Jan. And then another safety car came out, which blessed everyone else who didn't pit, and kind of ruined me again. And then I got damage overtaking Quantum on like lap 16, so I was driving with damage till the end and somehow managed to stay in front.
Did you have damage at the end of the race?
Yeah.
We weren't sure if you had or not, because it didn't seem to be showing up on anyone, but you lost a lot of time. Were you very happy that those two started scrapping behind to give you a bit of a gap?
Yeah. I won't get my win anyway, because the wet nonces are reporting me.
We do apologise for that. We do apologise for the language. We did actually catch you cross the white line on the stream, but we weren't sure, because I know there was a little bit of a dotted bit, but did you cross the white line?
I didn't know I did, mate. I wasn't really concentrating on the safety car, to be honest. I was looking at other things, so I might have done. I don't know.
That's fair enough. Steve, any questions from yourself?
Yeah, I really want to talk about that qualifying performance. Leaving it all to that final lap, was there any doubts? Because I think you invalidated the first run. I didn't see what happened on the second run, but was there any doubts going into the final run, or did you just think it's all or nothing at this point? I'm either going to start last or first, so might as well just go all in.
I was 3/10 off my PB on my last lap, so I left a little bit on the table. I made a few mistakes, but it wasn't that bad, and a bit lucky for it to be pole, because it was a bit far off what I expected to be pole, but we do take it.
Heading into next week, then we head to Spa-Francorchamps. How's that for a track for you?
I haven't done it for a while, but pretty good normally. So, but obviously I'm not in the championship, so it doesn't really matter, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, I think you're pretty up there now, because that was some very good point scoring today. Obviously, you have the sprint points as well, so you're certainly up there. But nevertheless, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate you taking some time to join us here, and whatever the position, congratulations on an excellent drive.
Thank you.
We'll head back to our camera screen just for a couple of seconds, folks. Thank you very much for joining us for this evening. We do apologise for some language that may have been said in the interview, but that's just driver emotions after. You can, of course, expect it. Next week, we head to Spa-Francorchamps. You can join us once again at 8 o'clock. It'll be no sprints. It'll be a shorter stream next week. Probably a good thing for our voices. But from myself and my co-commentator, thank you very, very much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll catch you next time.